just telling Mr. Ravi Rao that he somehow got me over here on the way from Dubai. Because of such engagements which were almost 10 feet for me to move. But I, in a way, feel connected with this subject because in some way I have been part of the trade of it. I don't know where is Mr. Krishnan now, but Sita Verma, Mr. Krishnan would recall the Apex Committee of NEGP 18-19 months back, and Cabinet Secretary was heading it. And as part of my habit, I stuck my neck out at the end. He was smiling appropriately. Krishnan remembers because, and I said, sir, this technology is not a problem. The problem is business process re-engineering, and can we deal with it? And I ended up not only finishing there, but went on saying that today you have a finance department which first looks at the plan, then does the budget goes to the parliament or the assemblies, and even after that, each department has to take administrative sanctions, financial sanctions for each of its schemes. And even after that, for individual purchases, as you are reading in the newspapers today, these days, every department has to go back to the same finance. So the finance starts dealing with the things right from the planning stage till the last rupees for the purchases. And unless something is done about it, how do you deliver to the people? Now this delivery is actually done in the states. Very little of, see, there are organizations like railways which deal with the people at the edge. Maybe income tax. Then you have target groups for central excise and customs. You have company affairs, companies as the target groups. But when it comes to the roti kapda makan of the 1.2 billion people, that is dealt with in the states. And if you talk about that, you need to experience. You need to experience through your interactions, through your interface, as to how do you deliver and what is expected, or what do these people expect of you. Where is the government for them? The government for them is the Tehsildar. The government for them is the collector. They don't understand that the government for them is the finance ministry of the government of India, the North Block, the South Block, or the Shatri government, the Bhavans. Now that is where the delivery is to be made, and that is where the challenge of delivery lies. And as has been, as a matter of fact, brought out right from the beginning, and I think most of the points that I wanted to make have come out very beautifully through this brilliant panel discussion, where the points made were so crystal clear on the issues and on bringing the whole thing down to be hidden on the collaboration and the culture of governance. And the culture of governance, before I come to the culture of governance, e-governance today, I am fond of saying, is the governance of tomorrow. It's like when I was in a central department in Bombay 20 years back as Deputy Secretary Director. Now we used to have manual typewriters. And manual typewriters, if you put one letter wrong, you have to type the whole page again. So came the electronic typewriters, which had the facility of one line scrolling, and you could edit one line. And everybody started demanding the electronic typewriters. But by then, XTs had come on horizon, and I tried to suggest to these people, it is like e-governance of today, governance of tomorrow, that you take XTs, word processing, instead of going for electronic typewriters. And that's why we'll have to take off our shoes, sterilize our hands, put on a mask, and then get into a glass room to deal with the computers. So e-governance today is like that. computer inside a glass box. You have to take out your shoes to enter. I put all those computers in the lobby and let them play with those. I said, play and spoil it. Nothing is going to happen. Do your word processing on that. It became a need today, and very soon people would not, people would not agree to use an electronic typewriter or a manual typewriter, much less. The cloud or e-governance and all these things 5 years hence would look like the computers which have been brought out from the classrooms to the lobby. These would be the norms of governance. So and technology, when it comes to technology, and there was a gentleman who was again left. Everybody whom I wanted to refer to has left. He's a Latin, who made a very good point. He said, state data centers. Yeah, I think somebody coming. Yeah. The state data centers are clouds in operation, actually, which is very true. And NIC, actually, the way it has been operating across the country, I must say that NIC is one organization which has been working at the cutting edge. It is that people right in the districts for last 10 years, and those boys in the districts are actually they have been making small applications for solving problems of grassroots level of governance. And yes, you have a net and you have a set of servers across the data centers across the country, and nobody knows where those data centers are hosted, and yet we're getting services, and everybody has full confidence, in fact, complete confidence. The blind blindfolded one goes to NIC and gets an application. No doubt, without knowing where this server comes from, where is it hosted, what is the platform. So in the next committee, I ended up making this or triggering this suggestion based on the fact that the first stack of cloud computing, the infrastructure as a service, existed. DIT having created 27 state data centers and equal number of statewide area networks, had already created the infrastructure for the cloud. It is already there. There is nothing more really to be added. The next stack, the platform as a service, is a technical issue which only required to be tested. And now, 18 months down the line, the DIT has selected 3 states for proof of concept, and my state is Gujarat. Is the first to have proven the concept also in pure technical terms for platform as a service, for infrastructure as a service. And now, the third stack, application as a service, the software as a service. We're going ahead with trying the applications. But that's not the issue. I never had any doubt about it. The issue is how to bring about the collaboration which is required, and how to bring about the culture of governance, which is apolitical. And when I say apolitical, it is not the political parties and the ruling government by election. Apolitical means where you reduce hierarchical way of governing the country, governing the people. If you can reduce political governance, if it could be more a collaborative government, it should be possible to implement the cloud. We in Gujarat have been able to have a collaborative government right from the beginning, and it has got something to do with the culture of governance over there. Now, I'll just mention, you talk about the procurement. We in Gujarat, as DST, for the Department of Science and Technology, do not own any applications. We make it a point to let the departments own the applications. We also make the department secretary as the champion and the driver of that application, their own applications. And I, in spite of being responsible and accountable for implementing information technology in the state, would go and sit in a committee which we constituted in each department, which is called IT Committee of the Department, which is chaired by the secretary of that department. Where I go and sit and give them suggestions to ensure that the platform is uniform, that there is interoperability. We talked about it, the question of applications talking to each other, and also the procurement is centralized by way of an order. We have declared Gujarat Informatics Limited as the central stores purchase organization, and that makes things so easy because all standards and specifications and there are lots of things which are common. Those are all possible to be ensured once you have a central stores purchase organization. We have e-procurement as a mandatory thing. Everything above a lakh of rupees has to be put up to the e-procurement process. We've carried out more than 170,000 lakhs of rupees worth of procurement through e-procurement. So there are no issues about centralizing the procurement. By virtue of this collaborative IT policy, which makes the departmental secretary the champion and the driver of every application of his own department, and Department of Science and Technology or DIT sitting in each of those committees along with JIM and making sure that all of those remain converged on one single platform. And even before we set up this state data center, we have a central data farm, the central server farm. It was at that when we created a wide area networks good 11 years back, much before the wide area network was contemplated in the part of the country. So that server farm had only to be shifted to state data center. The culture of having one unified data center has got deeply ingrained in the overall system of governance. And here I am reminded of the point made by Mr. Saurabh Srivastava about the US, the problem, the legacy issues. The legacy issues are very difficult to be broken, and that's why I feel this is the right time for all of us to think about implementing the cloud, because we have the infrastructure and we have proved the concept of the platform as a service, and it's eminently possible for us to, not only possible, but from my point of view, we feel it's inevitable. It's something which is not much of a question of an option to now go for the cloud as the way for having a uniform, robust mechanism for delivery of services to the common man. And if we just, and we talked about the question of outcomes, if we just list out the expectations of the people, we just reckon the aspirations of the people and the way the technology is moving, the inevitability of those aspirations becoming a compulsion for the governance, the impact of social media on the entire paradigm of delivery of services. I think if we look at it from that point of view, which would mean the point of view of outcomes, it would be clear that it's not a day too soon that we are deliberating so seriously on this issue. The question of collaborative government. Now there are, so Gujarat, I would say, is a kind of a microcosm which needs to be studied. The way we have been able to bring all applications not only to the state data center, but leading to the issues of virtualization of the servers for hosting applications of more than one department on the same server. We also have exceptions and exceptional stories, and Neil Ratan can't forget is electronic voting, and where the election commission, he said, look, one of the provisions of the election rules is that you bring all the representatives of the political parties in the morning of the voting day and show them the ballot boxes. You have to show that they are empty. So I have to show my servers. So I can't have my servers in your data center because you have a lot of rules about entry into that data center. So he put his servers separately and put a gate on that and put a lock on that and sealed the lock. That lock would be opened on the morning of the day of election, and he would open it and show the servers to the political parties. He said, "Look, my servers are here. You can look at it." And so there are. This is just a pointer in the direction of kind of challenges that you might have. But there are others who are now eager to bring their servers into the data center, because they have realized that the kind of security, the layer of security that we have been able to establish and the entire framework that data center is enriched with, it's not possible for any of those departments to set up that kind of system. So that way it is there for people to see how one of the models of collaborative governance, which is the heart of cloud, is possible to be implemented. But this is required not only to be implemented within the government of India between, let's say, DIT and other departments, because I don't think that the departments in government of India collaborate or there is the feasibility of their collaboration is it anywhere in sight, and that is some issue. That is one issue which needs as a matter of fact political will of the government, and at the highest level there has to be this inculcation of this psychology that on certain issues there has to be compulsory collaboration. There was this point you mentioned about unitary mode of governance in an increasingly opening up federalism in the country, and technology requires consolidation. There cannot be federalism in that sense of the term, and this consolidation is different from making the governance unitary. And that is the point that needs to be emphasized, that consolidation in terms of technology for delivering better outcomes does not amount to creating a unitary government. And my perception is that it's a matter of sensitization. And there are examples in my state itself showing how difficult and what can be the outcome if this sensitization is not there. DID suggested to us that Daman, Deep, Silvassa, Raja, Nagaravedi, where there is a witness, those data centers, so there are small towns, would be hosted in my data center. And my reaction is yes, why not? I mean, it's a very simple thing. I did not know that it is not a simple thing. And the file was put right up to the CM. It came as a big no, because it was a subject dealing with the relations of the states, the political relations of the states. Which government is there and which state has to be looked at. But not only that, somebody on the way had made a note at a very responsible level, saying that how is the hacking done? The two servers are sitting next to each other. They may perhaps hack each other. These are the challenges of collaboration in technology. Now, this is the grassroots level experience, and this is what is going to happen when you try cloud across the country. Now, my perception is you have to sensitize. NISG has some scheme where they are supposed to get the chief minister, ministers, and everybody else to a one-day conference, which I've been trying since long, but I've not been able to zero down on a date when everybody can sit together and listen to NISG teachers teaching them e-governance. So I think the pedagogy for e-governance needs to be studied. You need to evolve a pedagogy for teaching your politicians, for teaching even senior bureaucrats, for teaching departmental heads. What is technology, what is unification of technology, what is the meaning of consolidation of technology, and that it is far away and distinct from creating a unitary country politically. The federalism can blossom even when consolidation of technology becomes an imperative very clear. But for that, now the last thing that I would like to mention was already very late, like half an hour. Central also has to understand these states and take them as partners, and at times, wherever they find flashes of brilliance, most of the brilliant applications have come from some state or other. And generally I was telling somebody told me that about Nagaland, I said, don't undermine Manipur, Nagaland, Arunachal, Mizoram, or any of these states. I have come across flashes of brilliance in terms of technology and its applications, and in application there, even in these states. And some of the things being done there is absolutely brilliant. And yet, the view from a little mightier level is always that there is some intrinsic weakness in the formations which are smaller, and that is the psyche which needs to be. So one is the pedagogy for e-governance, which is by my recommendation, needs to be studied by NISG. NISG should see how to carry the concept of cloud beyond the technical people, beyond the administrators involved in technology. It has to go beyond the ITs of the states. It has to go up to every department. And the second issue, which is very, very important, is how from Delhi we look at the states and not only encourage them, but invite them and make them feel as the champions of their own areas of excellence, and take them as leaders and drivers for such areas of excellence which they have proven themselves in, and treat them as partners in this entire thing instead of being a giver or a taker. So with that, I'd like to close this round. Thank you for inviting me here. It's been a pleasure talking to such a galaxy of eminent people. I would take this opportunity to thank DIT and CA both for making it happen and for bringing me over there. Thank you very much.